with us is probably the instigator to this conference, and she's no stranger to anybody who's been watching these interviews, but Alice Jongerden. Alice, super event, fresh milk, food politics, overwhelming success, every table filled. People were riveted to their seats listening to this panel of speakers that was beyond excellent. You had speakers Mark McAfee from California, Michael Schmidt from Ontario, lawyers, Karen Selleck from Ontario, well-respected lawyer across Canada, Jason Gradle, great civil liberties lawyer, scientists, and you actually got the attention of the BC Dairy Council.
Well, there's a separation in the BC Dairy Council. So the ones that were here today, that joined us today, were on the marketing side of it. Okay, so you've got two sections there. So just so you know who they are.
Kudos
absolutely,
to them.
They are paying attention. That's what's exciting. They're paying attention.
And I was watching them because I kind of hanged out at the back of the room here during the conference, and they were listening intently. So bravo to them for coming. Bravo to them for opening the door for dialogue, and David Ito agreed to an interview on Roadkill Radio.
Oh,
so
awesome!
We're gonna keep the relationship going.
Excellent.
Now, what was the catalyst behind this? When you envisioned this conference, did you think this many people were going to show up?
Of course, I'm an optimist. I thought more would come. No,
this was
actually
great.
It was a fabulous conference.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't about the number. It was about how many are coming. How can we educate the people that come, and what are we going to do, and who's going to come? Right. Today was a victory on all sides because there were people here today that we wanted to educate that came. They're listening, they're paying attention. So we're moving forward, and the bridges that we're doing today and moving forward, and so that we can, we're building these relationships. That's what's so important. And to me, it was an absolute success because those are the people that were here today.
Well, more than that, you put tools into the hands of the people. Yeah. And this was a dedicated crowd. This is a crowd that's not going to remain silent. This is a crowd that, as you say, is going to go forward. There were more than inroads made today. I think you paved a highway, girl.
I'm really excited. Absolutely.
And for those of you that didn't get to come, the food was beyond fantastic.
You missed out.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you, get to know your farmer people if you really want to enjoy life. You also had a number of exhibitors. You had great sponsors, and we're enjoying literally the fruits of their labor.
Cheers.
Lotus Land Winery. Great cheeses. What a great group of people. And when I sat back and looked out at this conference with the people and the diversity of people that were involved here, this was a real coming together. This was a real tribute to British Columbia for bringing people from all different walks of life together for one common purpose, and that is our right to determine what we are going to access as far as a food supply, in this case, raw milk.
Absolutely.
Where do you go from here?
Sleep. No, I'm kidding. Absolutely not.
You're not allowed.
No.
That's
you know
illegal.
What? One of the things that Mark said today was share the secret, right?
Yeah.
And so even before I came to this conference today, Dr. Evan Adams said the same thing. You got to go out there and you got to educate. And so I have cleared the calendar. My job now is to go out and help educate. And so I've already set up some appointments where I'm going to go out and do that. There's one at Banyan Books on the 14th, yeah. And I've had a couple other people come up. Slow Foods asked us to come out to Osoyoos. So I have some other different things that are coming up, and I'm welcoming more of them. We want to go out and educate because this is such a foundational. Well, this is a food choice. This is when I hear the science and I sit there and I listen to this back and forth.
Forget the science.
It's not science.
It's a fundamental right to choose what I want to access to put into my body.
This is my point.
Now we're talking about milk. The absurdity. We did an interview just a few days ago. Alice came into Roadkill Radio, and for the first time, because we have so much information always coming at us in the work we do, but when we downloaded that regulation, the health hazard regulation, and the number one food item is unpasteurized milk, milk from a non-licensed.
The biggest health hazard. Like when we look out there and we think of all the possible health hazards, it's number one.
I know.
Well, what do they have to make that decision? That's
not us. Well, and this is where the absurdity comes in, right?
Yeah.
So, what would you like to say to people? Because regardless of whether you want to access raw milk products or not, that's not even the issue for the broader population. It's your right to choose. If at some point you want to, you don't have that right unless you stand up and practice your daily democracy. You got to get involved, people. Voice, value, vote. People need to use their voices, right? Get educated. You're going to give them the tools. If you came to the conference, you got the tools. I know on your website you give people the tools to understand the debate that's going on here. Value, where you spend your money, how you're spending your money, who you do business with. Politics in Canada, I think, is changing, Alice, that we see now the corporate interest in how our lives are being governed, who's controlling food, who's controlling banking, who's controlling oil, all those things. People need to become informed and aware.
People are waking up, they are getting informed, and they are aware. We just need more of them.
Yeah,
right.
And your vote. We have an election coming up.
Coming up very soon.
And, it sounds like there's a movement, politically speaking, from a variety of political parties that is listening to the song you're singing.
Yeah, it started out with Christy Clark, who arranged an interview with the Minister of Agriculture.
Yeah, she was accessible.
The NDP coming out on the steps of legislature, and it's just moving forward. So nobody's directly behind us at the moment, standing here cheering us on, but they are, and we will see a change. I know we'll see a change. Well, and it's just a matter of the timing, and it's going to take time.
And you're leading the charge.
Yes, and you know what? But we do need a lot of people out there to help us do that, because our one of our biggest challenges right now, we've got a constitutional challenge that's scheduled for July 15th that we're still looking for funding for, because
you've incurred a lot of legal costs.
We have since the get-go. And
okay, so how can people find out more information? What's your website?
Fresh Milk Food Politics is the one that we're going to move forward, keeping people informed. Fresh Milk Food Politics.
And does that have a donate button on it?
If it doesn't, it will. But I think it does. But
it better.
I'm quite sure that it does.
Okay.
And that would be donating to the Real Milk Legal Defense Fund,
okay. which is the constitutional challenge?
Is the constitutional challenge.
Okay.
Yes. And we are working very hard and diligently to try and get that to a tax-deductible receipt, but we have not quite attained that quite yet. We're working really hard for that, so that when you donate, you'll get a receipt in the mail.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Alice Jongerden, we will be doing this again, I'm sure.
I'm sure, Kari. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
The Fresh Milk Food Politics Conference was an enormous success. Not only did it bring people from all over the country together, but it opened the door of dialogue for all stakeholders. The Fresh Milk Food Politics Conference facilitated a stellar panel of speakers that were effective in the crucial role of providing information and education to attendees. Most importantly, the Fresh Milk Food Politics Conference equipped concerned and informed citizens with the essential tools necessary to engage in the debate and bring about the needed changes that are vital to the health of all Canadians. None of this would have been possible without the generous support of our sponsors. Therefore, it is with sincere appreciation and gratitude that we acknowledge those who made this important event possible.